I met Lisa because I interviewed her for a podcast series that I was making about prison, connected to prison. And at the time, Lisa was super outspoken about prison reform and abolition on her Instagram account. And anyone that followed Lisa's Blue Bag Instagram account can see that although she wasn't a filmmaker, she is a filmmaker, and just the images and the little bits of footage that she was putting up, I had quite a strong sense that there was a film there. But it took quite a long time before I plucked up the courage to ask Lisa whether she'd ever consider using her work to become a film. You know, friendship was key. First of all, we needed that friendship. And I always thought we'd have to film lots of other things around her material. But what became clear was that Lisa had documented this kind of had this unquantifiable amount of material of her life, and in the end, the film, that Blue Bag Life, everything is from Lisa's own personal archive. So, like, if you think about trust, I think a huge part of our trust was that it's a collaboration at its core. You know, this isn't me making a film about Lisa, although I came from a documentary background. This was Lisa as the filmmaker as well, and the two of us, well, it's more than the two of us, there were 5 of us, but the collective of us coming together and doing it together. And I think that really that's where the trust formed. What do you think, Lisa?
Yeah, I was just thinking about, there was a moment where I was passing over all of my passwords, let alone SD cards, hard drives, laptops, everything. And I'm not one to censor stuff, and I haven't really got time for that. So it was just like, God, like, what are they going to be watching today? And there were some interesting moments where they're just like sifting through it all. And I couldn't be there because I was working. I teach, I lecture in fine arts. I'm an artist at the core, but being involved in this way kind of meant that I had some kind of ownership over the material, and through discussions. And also therapy was was part of the budget. What's it called? The budget line. Yeah, and so had loads of therapy, so I wasn't on their case all of the time about, you know, and then it started to get shot in real time as well, with lots of things going on like IVF. And I mean,
and it was interesting that moment that it transitioned, because so quite a lot of the film came from what had already happened in Lisa's life and the archive that she had documented, and then at some point we were editing and Lisa's life was continuing to unfold. And so what was going on, she needed, like, I would think as the director here, am I being really lazy because I should be going and shooting what's going on? Am I just being super lazy? But we just stuck to this idea that it was Lisa documenting her own life, and like that like continued to be the language of the film. I suppose that sounds a bit pretentious, but you know, and I think that she did an amazing job. Like, Lisa's an instinctive filmmaker. I always think of looking at her material, and there's a moment where she's lying on the bed and like just talking and filming a fan on her ceiling, and I felt like I was immediately with her. And like, I never would have had that idea of having that shot of a little bit of a ceiling fan like in the edge of a frame, but you know, that was how Lisa was, just like, without even, I think it was the artist in you that just sort of had your own vision, I suppose.